Nestled in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean, Tuvalu is a small island nation whose beauty and vulnerability have captivated global attention. Comprised of 9 low-lying coral atolls and reef islands, Tuvalu spans just 26 square kilometers, making it one of the smallest countries in the world both in land area and population, with around 11,000 inhabitants. Its pristine lagoons, shimmering turquoise waters, and swaying palm trees paint a picture of paradise. However, beneath this idyllic surface lies a harsh reality. Tuvalu is on the front lines of climate change, grappling with rising sea levels, coastal erosion, and the increasing frequency of devastating storms. These existential threats not only imperil the physical landmass, but also endanger the cultural identity and way of life of its people, forcing the world to confront the question: what happens when a nation drowns? Tuvalu's geographical vulnerability is its most defining characteristic. The islands rise just 2 to 3 meters above sea level, leaving them acutely exposed to the encroaching ocean. The very coral reefs that form the foundation of these islands are living ecosystems, sensitive to changes in water temperature and acidity. As global warming accelerates, the oceans absorb more carbon dioxide, leading to acidification that weakens coral reefs. Coral bleaching events, exacerbated by rising sea temperatures, further erode these natural barriers, leaving Tuvalu's coastlines defenseless against the pounding waves. Erosion has become a relentless enemy, steadily gnawing away at the land. Entire stretches of beaches have vanished, and saltwater intrusion has rendered once fertile soils barren. Traditional food sources, such as taro and coconut, are under threat, jeopardizing both food security and the cultural practices tied to agriculture. The rising seas not only engulf land but also contaminate freshwater sources, as salt water infiltrates shallow aquifers. For an island nation with limited resources, the loss of fresh water is catastrophic, forcing reliance on rainwater collection and imported supplies. Sea level rise is no longer a distant possibility for Tuvalu. It is a lived reality. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, IPCC, global sea levels have risen by an average of 20 centimeters since the 19th century, and the pace of this rise is accelerating. For Tuvalu, even the smallest increments in sea level have profound consequences. During high tides, a phenomenon known as king tides submerges large portions of the islands, flooding homes, schools, and infrastructure. These events are becoming more frequent and severe, underscoring the urgency of the crisis. The combination of rising seas and storm surges compounds the destruction. Tropical cyclones, fueled by warmer ocean temperatures, unleash torrential rains and ferocious winds that devastate infrastructure and displace communities. The 2015 cyclone Pam, though it did not directly hit Tuvalu, caused widespread flooding, leaving nearly half the population displaced and highlighting the island's extreme vulnerability. Recovery from such events is slow and arduous, as limited financial resources and geographic isolation hinder the ability to rebuild resiliently. For the people of Tuvalu, the land is more than a physical space. It is the cornerstone of their cultural identity and heritage. Generations of Tuvaluans have lived in harmony with their environment, relying on traditional knowledge to navigate the challenges of island life. The land is interwoven with ancestral ties, oral histories, and communal practices that define what it means to be Tuvaluan. As the islands shrink, so too does the space for these traditions to thrive. Forced migration is emerging as a grim inevitability for many Tuvaluans. While the government has been vocal about its commitment to fight to stay rather than abandon the islands, the reality of disappearing land compels many to consider relocation. Neighboring countries like New Zealand and Australia have offered pathways for migration, but leaving Tuvalu means severing the deep connection to the land and culture. Diasporas risk losing their linguistic and cultural identity, becoming environmental refugees in a world that has yet to fully recognize the legal and moral responsibilities owed to displaced populations. Tuvalu's struggles are a harbinger of what lies ahead for other low-lying coastal and island regions. The nation has become a poignant symbol of the human cost of climate change, serving as a rallying cry for urgent global action. At international forums such as the United Nations, Tuvalu's leaders have passionately advocated for stronger commitments to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning to renewable energy. Their voices resonate with moral clarity, reminding the world that climate change is not an abstract problem. It is a crisis with tangible, devastating effects on real communities. Despite their negligible contribution to global emissions, Tuvalu and other small island developing states bear the brunt of climate impacts. This inequity underscores the urgent need for climate justice, wherein wealthy, high-emitting nations take greater responsibility for mitigation and adaptation efforts. Initiatives such as the Loss and Damage Fund, established at COP27, represent a step toward addressing these injustices. But the gap between pledges and action remains vast. In the face of existential threats, Tuvalu is exploring innovative strategies to adapt and survive. One such initiative is the construction of artificial islands, using dredged sand and modern engineering to create elevated land that can withstand rising seas. The government is also investing in seawalls, rainwater harvesting systems, and solar energy projects to enhance resilience. However, these measures are costly and offer only temporary reprieve against the relentless forces of nature. Digital preservation of Tuvalu's cultural heritage is another innovative approach. Recognizing the potential loss of their homeland, the government has partnered with organizations to create a digital twin of the nation, an online repository that captures the geography, culture, and history of Tuvalu. While this project cannot replace the tangible experience of living on the islands, it serves as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of a people determined to preserve their identity. Amid the challenges, the people of Tuvalu exhibit remarkable resilience and solidarity. Community life remains vibrant, with traditional practices and celebrations offering a sense of normalcy and continuity. Elders pass down knowledge to younger generations, ensuring that the essence of Tuvaluan culture endures despite the uncertainty of the future. Faith also plays a central role in sustaining hope. The majority of Tuvaluans adhere to Christianity, and the church serves as a pillar of community life, providing spiritual solace and fostering collective action. Religious leaders often frame the climate crisis as a moral and spiritual challenge, urging both local and global communities to act as stewards of creation. Tuvalu's fate is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our global community. The challenges faced by this tiny island nation reverberate far beyond its shores, illustrating the profound consequences of environmental neglect and short-sighted policies. Tuvalu's story demands not only empathy, but also concrete action. It compels us to rethink our relationship with the planet, to prioritize sustainability, and to advocate for policies that protect the most vulnerable among us. The world stands at a crossroads. As Tuvalu fights to preserve its land, culture, and dignity, the international community must decide whether to rise to the occasion or allow yet another preventable tragedy to unfold. Tuvalu's struggle is not just about a sinking island. It is about the collective future of humanity and the moral imperative to act before it is too late. In the words of Tuvalu's Prime Minister, "Save Tuvalu, save the world." Let this call echo in the halls of power and inspire a global movement to protect not only Tuvalu, but also the shared home we call Earth.